Advice: don't buy an iPhone.
Buy an SSD.
Buy an asset Tangerine.
That's Tangerine. Tangerine.
I want to talk about. I've been playing crazy amounts of VR games. I haven't done a Tangerine in so long that I talk about games
Yeah,
on the podcast, and then but I'm like, I've played this game, but I played
I've
it
been,
like
I've,
I played it like 4 months ago, and nobody knows I played
yeah.
it.
I feel like okay, because I've like in the last 2 weeks like not been like really feeling like doing anything, because I've kind of just been like not really
Mate,
on Discord or
I feel
anything.
like I'm not doing anything. I feel like I've been in this fucking. It's been getting better recently, but the fucking
Yeah,
weather has been getting me down so much. I don't
I
know.
don't, I don't, I don't. Yeah, the weather's definitely picking me up. I'm not sure whether that's getting me down. I think I just felt like
But
I
like,
over peopled myself. I think.
I just you over peopled yourself during lockdown.
Yeah, I get to a point where like I don't want to like deal with people anymore.
Right. I was just gonna say like, as someone who goes biking every day, like when it's like dark
Yeah,
and
the
it's
weather.
cold, like the weather just
Yeah,
when you get that one day where it's like warm and the sun's out, it's like that's my recharging day.
this week's been really good, right? Like it's been
Today
really.
was, dare I say,
Oh,
LPD, Lekker Pain Delicioso.
yeah. Today was I think a bit too warm
And my
in my
t-shirt
opinion, but
and my t-shirt and shorts. I'm talking about being in shorts and my boxing shorts. Creed,
right.
Rise to Glory. I don't know if you know
Okay.
about Creed
The
franchise, but
film.
if you know about Rocky Balboa, the biggest
Yeah.
boxing film of all time, I think doesn't he fight someone called Creed, and then
Yeah, and then there's a film that came out later. It's like his son or something.
yeah,
All
called
information I
Creed.
know is from Red Letter Media and Half in the Bag. So
I've never seen a Rocky Balboa film, but
nope.
basically I played a bunch of VR games because I got the original Spring VR bundle. No, sorry, I got the original VR bundle, and I've also got the Spring VR bundle, so I have a ton of
Oh, you got both.
VR
Okay.
games, and this is one of the multiplayer games. So this is actually me playing against a friend who's playing on a Quest 2 right now, and I'm playing on the OG Vive that I got from my brother. Um, and this is a PvP match, so the way movement works in this game is actually pretty interesting. I'm someone who's like heavy against any other movement but teleportation, as I feel like it makes me feel sick. I've seen a lot of interesting movement types, and if you can see here, when I like swirl the boxing gloves in circles, that sort of makes me move.
Yeah.
And from all of the weird like ways I've tried to move outside of teleportation, I've actually found this one was the best. Like it felt very
Right.
natural to
Okay.
move like this. There is stuff like I think there's a project called Natural Locomotion, and you basically you put like Vive trackers on your feet, and then
Oh,
you
that's a good idea.
walk in place when you want to move,
Yeah.
and then it
Yeah.
integrates that movement into third party games that don't
So,
natively support it.
do you think because you obviously play a lot of VR and
Yeah,
I've only test played like a few hours at most. Like, do you think that would help like trick your brain to thinking you're actually moving?
I would be interested to try it for sure.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I wanted to try. The reason I tried this game is I wasn't particularly interested in the single player. To be fair, I haven't tried it really. But the reason I play this game is because I feel like there's a niche in VR games, but there's an even bigger niche in multiplayer VR games.
Okay.
And
A niche within a niche.
as someone who's been going through all of the multiplayer VR games that exist right now, some of them are pretty fucking fun. Like you know how like even if a game's bad, sometimes it can still be fun in multiplayer. I feel like
Yeah.
the same's
Yeah.
true with VR. Like even if a VR game's kind of janky, like being able to play with my friends is a lot more fun. Like I talked about this in the past. I talked about Phasmophobia in VR. If I was playing that single player and I couldn't play with PC players, hell no, I would not play that. But the fact that I can just play with a bunch of friends and I can like do stuff in
Yeah.
VR with them, that shit's really
It's
cool. Um,
yeah. Yeah. I feel like it's not even like the sense of like oh like I know like Toll Biscuit says things like oh anything's better with friends, but I think there's something more than that though.
mm.
I think there's something just like being able to play with them is just inherently better in certain situations. So
One thing I didn't realize was that you actually have to hit pretty hard to actually get like the hit. Like you can't just like soft
oh
ball on this
yeah,
game.
is it
You
actually
actually
based on how
yeah,
quick you're moving your hand?
it
Right,
knows
right.
how quickly the controller's moving, so it
That
knows
makes
when you're doing a
sense.
hard punch,
Yeah, that makes sense.
which is something I wish I knew because I was like,
you're Wii Sportsing it right now, just like, oh, I just need to
Well,
hit
the
it.
problem is, I don't know if I want to admit this, but I actually kind of lie to Steam VR and I go, yeah, I've got more space because there's a minimum amount of space you need for room scale, and I kind of just go and put my controller over things that exist in my room to just say, yeah, I've totally got 2.2 meters times
Yeah,
1.5
you're playing.
meters.
You're hanging out the window, like, yeah, I've got
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
space.
And a game like this, I really didn't want to like just fucking punch a wall or something when I was playing it.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is a game where I'd say like this is a game you would definitely want like a Quest 2 on, for example. Or
Yeah.
if you like it like on the Quest 2, or for example, the virtual desktop wireless streaming that's quite good. I know a friend of mine uses he got a Quest 2 recently and he's using virtual desktop to wirelessly stream to it and said like I like the respawning. When you get knocked out, you have to swing your arms to like go back into your body before the countdown timer
Oh, that's
goes.
cool.
That's
That
pretty
is
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
So, how does the wireless desktop thing work? It's actually like, is it just like a?
So the way
So you're not plugged in
so you
at
side
all?
you no. So basically, to play PC VR games on your Quest 2, you buy the virtual desktop app on the Oculus Store, and then what it does is it basically streams like a video of your PC to your
Oh,
headset,
okay.
and then
Yeah.
you're basically playing on the Vive wirelessly by streaming the video to your headset, basically. Which is why you
So you're
need
streaming
like
the commands as well, or the
yeah,
movement as well.
yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It creates
Okay.
like a wireless connection between them. Like you need a very strong root. I think you need like a 5 gigahertz router, like it's recommended. Like you need to have a strong connection in order to get it to work like without
Yeah. Yeah.
latency. I think latency is the
Yeah.
biggest problem with like wireless streaming. Um, but it's so popular that we'll be talking about this podcast actually. By the time this comes out, you probably would have already heard me talk about it. But it's so
Yeah.
popular.
Probably.
Oculus is making their own version of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
alongside
That is
because it's
interesting.
coming with an update where they're adding 120 hertz mode, so we'll actually
Yeah.
make the Oculus Quest a £300 headset, the only other headset in the world that supports above 120 hertz or supports over 90 hertz, I should say,
Yeah, that is insane.
other than the Index, which is kind of crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I'll say it again. I've said this
Future's
before.
coming.
I've said it. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't like the Facebook stuff, but the Quest 2 is a hell of a headset. Like,
It's kind of a shame we're at the point where like they're companies that do really good hardware stuff, but then like their business practices are really shit.
because I feel like the Quest is starting to. They're getting exclusives. They're trying to corner the VR market. Like, and I think unless I've seen some patents, but I feel like Valve needs to like make a cheaper headset, and they need to make a.
Yeah.
They need to look into a wireless.
Or
Um,
HTC need to do some stuff as well, right?
HTC's been teasing stuff for a while, but they've been falling off for a long time. Like,
Yeah, I feel like they're not gonna actually make anything else,
we'll
to
have
be
to
honest
see.
with
Like,
you.
the only other
Like,
headset that's been like reputable has been the G2 Reverb, but even that I've heard has some like tracking issues.
yeah.
Because obviously, like from playing on I've only ever played on I've played it on a fucking Oculus Dev Kit 2 and an Oculus Go, and that was pretty terrible experience. But playing real VR, I've only really played on a Vive with actual physical tracked lighthouses, which gives you amazing tracking on where you are on your controllers and stuff. But I'd
Yeah,
be
it's like precision and things as
yeah,
well.
but I'd be interested to see like how it compares to just using the cameras in the headset sort of thing, the depths of field like inside out tracking sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is the thing that the Index still has is
I feel
the
like
tracking the
a hybrid
lighthouses
system.
can't be beat right now by the
Yeah.
headset tracking.
It's a shame we kind of like both are like if you want
This
like the high
shows the
precision, you
character
can use
select. So
it.
you can play as like I play as Rocky Balboa. I love it when games track your legs in VR. I do find that quite funny. Where they just know that
Yeah,
your
you're like
hands are moving, so it's tracking
breaking
your legs.
your.
But you can see like the character. You can play as Mr. T was in a Rocky film.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think I
What?
played as Mr. T
Okay.
after I played as Rocky. But yeah. one of the reasons I got this bundle was to play this game, and I gotta say, after having a boxing match with my friend in VR, this title is very fun. So we'll.
Okay, okay.
And speaking about VR games that can test how much space, are like real space testers, we got to talk about
Yeah.
GORN. Now, GORN is a real space tester when it comes to VR games.
Yes.
Holy
I know a little
shit!
bit about this game.
Will you find out if you really have enough space to play VR with this game? So the movement system in this one is also a non-conventional one, and there's no way to choose between it.
I like how
This
it shows
is
you how to
this
do that,
is
actually.
the skiing one. So you put like your left
Oh,
hand
it
out
is
and
a
you
ski-
pull, and you put out your right hand and you pull, and it's like the best way I could describe it is you're skiing basically.
So this is very hand-based
Yeah,
or very arm-based workout then.
it's a very much. It kind of goes with the game where it's very much you're very like physically using your arms and grabbing people and smashing them. It's like there's a few like arena VR games, but this one is like I think it's still one of the best ones. I haven't played too many, but yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. And like there is like this one's quite cartoony, but it's definitely very fun. Um, so you get to go into the arena. It starts off with you just having your hands, and then the way the game works is I talked to a friend and I was like, I beat GORN, and he was like, wait, you can beat GORN? And I was like, yeah, it has like a full campaign sort of thing. So like
Oh,
the
right,
way it
okay.
works is you go through trials, and then as you go through trials, you get given new weapons, and these new
Yeah.
weapons give you these new weapons you can unlock by completing that challenge, and then you can use them in like a free roam sort of mode, where you just choose whatever weapons you want. It's like I gotta grab this rock and smash
Oh,
it
you
on his
can
head.
oh you can grab like anything that's oh okay,
Every
right,
time you beat
right.
a battle, you have to like raise up your fists. You play this for long enough, and you're literally just like stood in your room in like your fucking underwear, just screaming into like the sky with your fists raised in the sky. I will say this is definitely a game of its time. Like it's a game from 2016, and then some of like the VR choices they've made are definitely like this is definitely an earlier VR game. Like
Yeah.
you remember when I shit on that like monkey game for having physical button presses in a
Yeah.
VR
Here
game?
we are. Uh
I
why is
did
this a good like,
I
who
did
thought this was a good idea though?
I don't know. I did turn on comfort mode, which for people watching this might be kind of scuffed because basically what comfort mode does is it every time you move it lessens your depth of field. And the reason this is important is because lessening your depth of field every time the character's forced to move actually helps decrease motion sickness. It's one of the main
Oh
reasons in
really?
Resident Evil
Okay.
7 VR on the PSVR, you're always using a flashlight because using a flashlight is a natural way, in-game way to force the player to have a smaller depth of field, like a narrower.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, FOV, not depth of field.
Why does having it have lower make it better though? That's why I don't understand that.
It forces you to focus on one point, which helps when you're moving.
Okay.
Because if you can
Because
see,
I realize it's
yeah,
no, I was gonna say like obviously like it's a different experience with my screen like it going obviously it's not the same effects like it's just FOV right like whereas this is like trying to display that in some way.
hmm.
I feel like the lesser FOV is making me feel like more queasy, but I guess it's different on the actual headset.
Yeah. So one thing like playing Half Life Alex and watching back my recordings of Half Life Alex are very different experiences. Where
Yeah.
playing through the game with like quick turning and teleportation is so much more comfortable than like smooth locomotion or actually physically turning and stuff. But then watching it back, I'm like,
Right.
oh, this I'm like turning around really quickly and I'm just teleporting everywhere. It's like a good VR experience for you may not
Isn't the
be a good
same as
viewing experience for other people.
yeah.
I just ripped this fucking guy's legs off, Tony.
Oh my god,
I want you
absolutely
to
savage.
appreciate that. Literally, like I love like some of the dialogue because there's a guy commentating who's like the Lord of the Arena, and I just killed all these guys and then I just started pummeling this guy. He was dead. And he's like, "My gladiator is savage." I just want you to appreciate. I just threw a guy's leg at this guy.
Oh my god, that is absolutely brutal.
I was like,
These games are making kids violent, Joe. I feel like
"Yeah,
we
we need
need
to
to.
ban GORN. It's making other kids
Yeah.
violent."
Why did the audience guys have such big heads though?
Mm.
Oh,
It's my
okay,
new weapon.
okay.
If you are not a
Yeah,
coward, take up your weapon and salute me. That's me probably pausing my headset. So you get basically the whole gist is you get like new weapons. There's like two-handed weapons. Some of the like bigger weapons will have like jelly physics, as you can see here. As you can look.
that is
I didn't
beautiful.
like shields at first, but I actually found that I quite learned to quite like shields. And this is another one of those games where it seems very simple at first, but then the more you play it, the more you realize how much depth is in the game. So basically, the way it works is because I wish this was explained to me in the beginning because I found it really frustrating when it happened to me. But then as soon as I understood
Right.
it, I was like, "Oh, this is makes perfect sense. This is really cool." So the way it works is the enemies they die pretty quickly if you can get like hits on them, but you die in one
Yeah.
hit. So if you get hit
Oh,
once, you will start passing out. But if you kill someone, this cancels you passing out. So the way the gameplay works is if you get hit, you want to charge faster into the enemies because then if
yeah,
you
that's
can
kind of
quickly kill
cool.
someone, you can stop yourself from passing out. Now this at first I did
Oh,
not understand and this was very frustrating because I got hit once and I'm like, well, I can only take one hit. This is bullshit. I'm going to die. But it's just something I think the game just needed a better job like explaining to you.
an
Like
actual tutorial, you could say.
well, this game came out in 2016, but like it's had support like all the way up to like 2018, 2019, and they added like more content to it.
Oh,
And that
really? Okay.
there's like because I feel like people know Gorn and they see this gameplay I'm showing to you right now, and they go, "Yeah, it's like an arena game. You fight a couple of dudes in an arena. That's the whole game." There's multiple boss fights in this game. Every single
Really?
arena ends with a
Okay.
boss fight, and they're not just like normal boss fights. There's a boss fight where you fight like a midget on a crab. There's a boss fight where you fight like Achilles, and he's covered in
Okay.
armor
Okay.
apart from his heel, which is pretty fucking hilarious. I think I have footage of this. It's
I like
so
that.
funny.
That's a good idea. That's a good way of doing that.
Every, so
I
ev
I really like this style though. Like it just looks really good and
it's
like
very
you can be
fun.
bloody without being like you
Yeah,
can still
too
be like
gory.
childish sort of thing. Yeah.
So basically you get the way every level works is you get they teach you how to use new weapons by getting you to fight enemies with them, and then you'll have a free for all, so everyone fights everyone, and then you'll fight a boss, and that's kind of the core gameplay of like the Gorn campaign of how you unlock weapons and stuff.
That
Um,
is kind of interesting. But so this is like in the campaign, right? So how many levels were there? Or how many arenas were
I
there?
think like 8 or something like that.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
there's a final boss to the game as well, which is like complete. Feel like I don't even want to give spoilers to Gorn. Gorn goes batshit at
No.
the end. I cannot recommend
No
this game
spoilers.
enough. Basically,
This is a game I want to play actually.
every enemy you fought, you fight. You basically it's like, hey, these guys. The best game I can describe this against is it's the Doom Eternal of VR games.
Yeah, yeah, I
In
can see
in
that.
Doom Eternal, the fuck the fucking you get introduced to a unit called the Marauder, and he's a
Yeah.
boss, and it takes forever to kill him. And it's like, okay, this is a boss, and you defeat this boss, and you're like, holy shit, that was a hard boss to defeat. And then guess what? The game goes, right, this is a normal enemy now. You're just gonna encounter this guy all the time. Like it does that shit a lot.
Right, right.
Um,
Just
the
to get used to it.
but like once you get to the end, like you fight all of the bosses at once, sort of thing, and it gets like kind of crazy. And then there's like another part that's like, yeah, it gets pretty interesting. I see if I can skip to the boss fight because like you go into these little rooms behind these doors, and they each have their own challenges, and that's each level.
Guy with the an ox head.
So I was fighting this guy, and his gimmick was he just runs at you with nunchucks. The bosses are pretty janky. There's even like I think one of my
Beautiful.
favorite ones is just like there's like a warrior, and he just like jumps into the air and spins, and he's hard to kill, but most of the time he just accidentally knocks himself out.
Right, okay.
Let's go to Achilles. I think Achilles might be. Is Achilles ranged weapons? I'm not sure. I think I just. I think I just went into like because I think I just went into like a custom game. Just try that out where I just gave myself God mode and was like, I'm just gonna smash guys for a bit. I'm just gonna like test out like the arena. Oh, this is cool.
Oh,
This is something the game introduces to you. So on one level it gives you like crossbow hands, and you press
yeah,
like
what
the
the
side
hell?
button on your controller and it fires a crossbow bolt. But they only like
See,
introduce it for like one level, and then they'll be like, okay, now it's gone, and you can try it in custom mode, sort of thing.
oh, okay, right. This is like a special weapon, not I mean,
Yeah, yeah, not a main thing.
I guess it'd be a bit annoying to have it everywhere.
See if I can. Did I go past Achilles?
Oh, like a cleaver.
Battle axes.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, I'm skipping, but
The flail is kind of I'm not a fan of the flail. I don't like flails.
you have been hit. Defeat an enemy to recover. So I swear I didn't see that like ever before.
I think you're too busy dying.
I think this might just be. Is this just the archer boss? There's just one of the bosses is just like an. No, this is. So this is. Is this Achilles? I'm not sure.
Big old
I think this
shield.
is just.
Was it
I think that's just an archer boss. Anyway.
right? Okay.
Here's Achilles, look. So
Oh,
so this is
oh.
Achilles, and it's just the humor in this game is on point. Where it's just like he Achilles is the champion, and he has armor everywhere but his heel, and it's like okay,
Yeah.
I get it, and like some of the bosses are like can be quite hard. Like there's some bosses like the crab is very hard to defeat. For
The
example,
crab. What?
there's a guy who rides on a crab, and the best way to
Okay, that's
defeat
pretty
him
cool.
is to not. There's a guy riding him that like I think he shoots range stuff at you. Um, so I think you want to like knock him off, and then you want to try and flip the crab and destroy his soft undershell. But the crab is
Yeah.
tanky. Um, but there's stuff you learn like as I said, there's hidden depth in this game. So you learn like blunt weapons are good for taking off armor. Sharp weapons are good for when you want to like go in for the kill.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can parry hits, and this will give you a like an opening window to attack someone. Shields are very effective against ranged weapons. Like there's tons of hidden depth in the game, which at first I didn't understand or expect, but um, like I feel like before like Beat Saber, Gorn was like the closest thing to a killer app on VR. Well, I
Yeah.
mean before Half-Life Alyx, of course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Is there any point bashing your own shield? Like I keep saying,
just
is that just cool?
if you could hear me right now, I'd just be screaming ah! Like it literally
Yeah.
like after playing this in VR for a couple of hours, you literally just get so immersed, and you're just like. I am a warrior now, and I'm just screaming like a caveman and just smashing people's heads in.
Yeah, I think everyone I've seen play this game just starts screaming at it. So
Yeah. Well, I
I,
think it's
I
like,
like to. It's not just for show, I guess. Not just for the video. It's for
but like,
yourself.
yeah, you learn things like you can actually like if you put your open hand on armor, you can rip people's armor off. You can also rip people's heads off. You can rip their arms off. You can beat them to death with their own arms. Like there's lots of stuff you can do at Gorn. It just like it
Yeah,
allows you to do whatever the hell you want. And
violent creativity.
yeah. So yeah, if you're looking for some games to test out your play space in VR,
Yep.
check out Gorn. GORN's really good. I played the whole campaign. I'd highly recommend playing out the campaign and unlocking all the characters and unlocking all of the bonus items. Creed, I don't know about the single player. If you can get a friend to play with you, it's a very fun time to just box a friend. But yeah,
Just if you ever want to punch your friend with VR, then it's the game for you.
but basically, a friend of mine recently got a Quest 2, and then I started playing multiplayer games with him, which then prompted another friend to get a Quest 2, and then another friend to pull his Vive out of retirement, out of a box in a loft somewhere. So I'm now trying to play as many multiplayer VR games as possible, which we'll be talking about in another Tangerine video. So
Soon everyone will have a VR game.
check out these
Yes,
VR
yeah,
games once you have access to a computer with a graphics card and a VR device.
Yeah.
Or just play the Quest 2. I mean,
Yeah, that's
what was
true.
I, before I end, another game that I'm probably not going to talk about because I've talked about it in the podcast before and I've played it before, but I recently played it through and completed it. Super Hot VR. That's another great way to test your play space and punch your wardrobe. And it's also
Okay.
still really fun. I played through that recently. So, yeah. Anyway, that is the VR Tangerine for today, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.